Hello again, friends. Today is a quick episode about the upcoming Giggin for Good concert being held at the Actors Church in Covent Garden on August the 25th. That's next Sunday here in London. It will be an evening of musical theater cabaret featuring numerous West End stars and performers. All of the proceeds will be going to the hospital at Great Ormond Street, so it's definitely worth your time and energy to make this performance. To give you more information about Giggin for Good and to give you an idea of the kind of music you will hear on the 25th, here is a chat I had with three of its creatives.
Hi, I'm Emma and I'm one of the producers of Giggin for Good.
Hello, I'm Shaun, I'm a co-producer of the show and also one of the performers this year.
Hi, I'm Hayley, I'm a producer of the show and I've done a little bit of the musical arranging for this year's performance.
So Emma, could you tell us, how old is Giggin for Good and what kind of shows does it primarily strive to do?
Basically, Giggin for Good came about with its first production in July 2011. The idea was thought up basically on the way back from another concert in a car in the early hours of the morning. So it kind of came about early 2011 that we started to work on it. And basically we went from there, and we already had a relationship with quite a lot of people in the West End through going to see shows and seeing them at stage doors and things. So our first port of call was to sort of approach them and seeing if it was something that they'd be interested in doing, which it was, which was lucky for us. Then we had the name process to come up with. It was quite interesting actually, because we were all quite big fans of Wicked, and it wasn't from Wicked that we got the name, but we thought people might think that, but it wasn't. So it just kind of like we were doing something for the good of Great Ormond Street Hospital. So we just put the gig in before it, as it sounded good.
Now, obviously, with the name Giggin for Good, it sounds like you do several different kinds of shows, but for the strict purposes of charity work. Is that correct? Yes. So, Great Ormond Street Hospital, is that your main charity, or do you do works with any other charities? Hayley, can I address that one to you, please?
Yeah, Gigging for Good is our main port of call for a charity because, for the simple reason, Karen, myself and Emma, we're all nannies, so we all look after children 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's tricky, it's hard, it's a grafting kind of job. And we one of our main hobbies is the theatre. We go to the theatre a lot, and that's how it kind of came together. Great Ormond Street, as a charity, from the start have been incredibly supportive to us. I just have to call them up and they send me marketing material, they put it on their website, they put it in their staff newsletters. So that's basically why we raise money for Great Ormond Street.
Excellent. Any other charities that you work for, or is it just Great Ormond Street?
Just Great Ormond Street, yeah.
We'd like to branch out one day and do some other charities and help out some other charities. So if any want to approach us for fundraising, then feel free.
But it's also, we do the different units of Great Ormond Street, don't we? So
yes.
It's
the heart and lung units and the renal units this year. But we've also previously done oncology, the mental health service and the special care units as well. So we try and do the different units so that it's not all going to the same place. And units that interest us. For example, we chose the renal unit this year because although she's not a child, a friend of ours' mother she's got to have a liver transplant. She's really ill, and that's why we kind of strive towards the renal unit this year.
Excellent. So there's always a personal connection in addition, which is wonderful. Okay. So tell me about the first production that you ever did as a company. Hayley, can I address that one to you as well?
The first production that we ever did, we had the idea, we nurtured the idea, but the first one, was led a lot by the performers. They helped us, they showed us the ropes, so that the second production we did most of it ourselves. It came together, we knew the score. But the first one, people like George Ure from Wicked, he conducted rehearsals with us. He helped us a lot, and it was a very successful show. I think we almost sold out the first one. So.
And is it mostly just evenings of cabaret, evenings of musical theater, songs? What in general do people expect when they come and see your productions, Emma?
I think mostly musical theatre, but we have had pop songs before as well, and not necessarily just shows of musical theatre, but writers, such as we featured in our first shows after that, songs from My Land Shore. That was a massive hit. with the fans. I think Twitter went mental about My Land Shore afterwards. They sold loads of CDs and posters, and since then they've gone on to do a workshop and a small production with that workshop. And there's also a production of it, I believe, that's just gone on in Wales. National Youth Theatre. So what we try to do as a show is incorporate new writers, those that are already established in the West End, people that are just coming out of drama school or have just come out of drama school, and really try and mix it up a bit and give everybody a chance, no matter how sort of established they are within the industry.
Fantastic. So let's go ahead and talk about the show that you've got coming up, and it's on August 25th. Excellent. Okay. So tell people what they can expect to see in this particular show. Shaun, I'll address that one to you.
Like Emma said, it's a real mix. It's an eclectic show that we've got. I mean, we've got such a range of performers. Like we say, people that are just about to leave drama school, people that have done several West End shows, some are just sort of have made that first step on the ladder. Musically, we've got everything. We've got some pop songs, we've got Spamalot, we've got some Josh Groban, we've got Wicked. I mean, it's just such a West Side Story. There's just a bit of everything in there, which is what we try and do when we get submissions from the performers. To begin with, it's a case of trying to steer people in a certain direction. Say, well, actually, we maybe need some more light-hearted, because what we tend to get is a lot of ballads. Everyone likes to sing a ballad, and this year I think we've got a really good mix of ballads, character songs, like I say, pop songs. It's just a bit of everything in it.
In terms of staging, is it all going to be concert style, or will it be, some movement, some comedy numbers, anything like that?
It is generally a concert style performance. We've got like the standing mics there, so we do sort of give free rein to the performer if they want to do a bit more with, say, a character song. I'm just thinking of one in my head now that's from Guys and Dolls. Then that performer may want to do something more with it, but generally it is a stand and sing sort of concert.
And with it being cabaret concert style, does it have a cabaret feel in the sense that it's very tables and chairs? People are encouraged to come and experience it as a cabaret, or is it more like a show? What would you say?
Because it's more like a show in that sense, because we're in the Actors' Church in Covent Garden, so it's not a kind of tables and chairs set up. They're actually sat in the pews. It is. We've got a compere for the evening. Ben Vivian Jones is doing it this year for us, and in that sense, it's a cabaret. But they don't get up and get drinks halfway, like during someone's performance. They wait until the interval of the show.
Can you please tell us how the songs get chosen? Are they arranged any particular way? Basically, who decides what goes in where? Is that a team effort? Is it an individual effort?
So what we tend to do is give the performers a choice of what they would like to sing, and we have Hugh Evans is our musical director, an amazing musical director, and he will have a say. So we'll have rehearsals. So for the past few weeks we've had rehearsals on a Sunday, and people will bring their song choices, and Hugh will kind of work his magic with them, and we've got a few sort of mashups in the show and different arrangements of songs if he just thinks something might be more fitting. And Hugh would then also have a say on whether we need maybe more of a particular type of music in the show and sort of go for that. This is the first year we've actually used a group opening and closing number of the show. The show always opens with a song called The Last Day on Earth, which is by Lance Horn, and Hugh has done an arrangement of that, so it'll be sung as a duet with an arrangement, like an ensemble arrangement in the background. And then we're closing with Seasons of Love from Rent, which he's also done an arrangement for, with I'll Cover You. So Hugh's kind of our main man that deals with all of the music.
So it definitely sounds like this is a team effort from start to finish in terms of the people who help produce the show, help put on the show, but also the actors that you bring in and the singers to take part in this. How do actors hear about Giggin for Good? Shaun, can you talk a little bit about that?
First and foremost is the website. The concerts, when we have a solid idea of when they're going to be, will be announced, and you can get in touch via the website with the email address that's on there. People often send video links, audio links, just to give us an idea of how they sound. But another way, I think, is to come and chat to us. So the ideal time when we're all together is at the concert. So for example, this one on the 25th is, if you're going to be coming along, which you should, buy a ticket, come and say hi to us, introduce yourself, and we can then keep you in mind for the next one, because we always look for new performers for it. So just come and say hi.
Perfect. So if you come and see the show and you like the show and you think to yourself, how can I participate next time? There's lots of different ways they can get in touch, whether it's the obvious way, it's the website, or
tweeting us. We've got Facebook. several different ways. So, yeah.
Or possibly the best way, which is just to come up and just have a quick chat with you sometime during the actual performance.
And at Giggin for Good is our Twitter, so you can start following us.
And where can you be found on Facebook as well? Is it just under Giggin for Good there as well?
Yes, you can
It's under
search
Gigging Good. They wouldn't allow us to put a 4 in, so it's Gigging Good. So that's a bit confusing, but most people that perform in it are on the Facebook anyway, so if you're Facebook friends with them, then you'll find us throughout their friends list anyway. And we've also got several event pages up as well, so there are ways of finding us. And we also come up on Google searches, so...
And are there plans for any future productions once this is done? Emma, can you tell us about anything that might be coming up after this?
Well, we're in talks at the moment about doing something around about Christmas time, purely strictly Christmas carol type stuff, good light-hearted fun around Christmas time. And then obviously we'll get on to next year's productions and see how we feel about how many we want to do next year and what we want to do it for and why we want to do it and that sort of thing. So yeah, we're hoping to carry this on for many years to come.
And finally, let's let the folks know where this production is, when it is, and how they can get tickets for it.
This production will take place at the Actors Church in the centre of Covent Garden in the Piazza on Sunday, August 25th at 7 p.m. If you want to buy tickets, you can get them at www.gigginforgood.webs.com.
And is that Giggin with a G at the end, or is it Gigging or Giggin?
That's Giggin with a G, with an N at the end, and a 4 instead of FOR.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much for your time, guys. It has been a pleasure talking to you, and all the best with your future productions, and hope we get to chat with you about all those again soon.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thanks again to Emma Howe, Shaun McCourt, and Hayley Guild for speaking with me. Before we part ways, I want to make a brief mention of who will be performing on the evening of the 25th. Stars of A Chorus Line, Victoria Hamilton Barrett and Gary Wood will be seen. Also, we will have Stuart Matthew Price for good measure, Hannah Levain, Sabrina Carter, Joseph Connor, and Kelly Ann Gower, to name just a few. There'll be many, many more folks along for the ride as well. A reminder, all of the information for Giggin for Good can be found at http://Giggin for Good. That's GIGGIN, the number 4, not 4 spelled out, GOOD.webs.com. So please do go and catch this amazing show, and it's for a great cause. Until next time, friends.